Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie has been breaking box office records in Japan and North America too. It has also been well received by critics for its animated action sequences, character developments, and also emotional depth. A Demon Slayer movie was a strategic move for the franchise to gain even more revenue due to the series' ever growing popularity. Yet, aside from the income, a movie was a logical and appropriate route for the Mugen Train arc, largely due to the pacing, content, and emotional depth from Tanjiro Kamado's and Kyojuro Rengoku's backstories. Demon Slayer's Mugen Train arc is told in just 2 manga volumes, making it feasible to the show in the few episodes of season 2. However, if we analyze the content and pacing of this particular story, an episode sequence will be too abrupt. The movie perfectly divided the arc into 2 major events: Tanjiro and his friends fighting against Emmu, the demon responsible for the missing train passengers, and the battle between Kyojuro Rengoku and one of the upper moon demons, Akaza. The train incident is such a self-contained arc on its own that dividing it into few episodes would possibly lead to some unnecessary fillers. Usually in shonen animes, the heroes would be split into smaller groups and battle several different enemies simultaneously, resulting in very exciting storyline. Yet in this case, the arc takes place in one set location, the train, as Tanjiro and his friends must fight against a common enemy, Enmu. Elongating one battle sequence in the span of several episodes would be a dull and likely lack any new materials that add to the plot or character development. Furthermore, if the Mugen Train arc was told in episodes, there would probably be fillers, such as Inosuke's adventure as a mole man and Zenitsu's date with Nezuko. Just to give content variation aside from the train battle, there would also possibly be a standalone episodes about Tanjiro and Rengoku, providing more detail to the dream sequences. Rengoku would be further crafted into a likable character after being pretty static in the season 1. Though it would be fun to explore the dream sequences, it wouldn't serve any significant purpose aside from character development. And although there isn't a lot of screen time for fan favorites such as Zenitsu and Nezuko in the film, Mugen Train does an excellent job pacing and storyboarding this arc, only paying close attention to the significant details that contribute to the main storyline's overall progression. Demon Slayer Mugen Train's main star isn't Tanjiro, but Kyojuro Rengoku. Viewers first see Rengoku on the train, humorously saying delicious as he eats. Then his sad backstory and desires for recognition for his family is revealed, followed by his overwhelming power as the flame Hashira when he battles Akaza. Rengoku's character development takes viewers on an emotional roller coaster. Similarly, Tanjiro's backstory further shows how much he desires to be reunited with his family. It was constantly mentioned in season 1, but in the Mugen Train movie, the depth of the desires is a layer bare. The audience can process the dramatic movements smoothly, as opposed to an episodic format, which can disrupt the emotional experiences. It would have been nice to see more character development for Rengoku. However, his death should be seen as a season-ending cliffhanger rather than a mid-season turning point because of how significant it is to the Tanjiro's character growth, not to mention the emotional impact for the viewers. Thus, to get the dramatic effect within the season 1, his death would have to be positioned at the end of the 12-episode run, prolonging the Mugen Train storyline, which wouldn't be logical due to the nature of its content. Although it is possible to incorporate Demon Slayer's Mugen Train arc in the season 2, it wouldn't have been same emotional impact as the movie does when it comes to the Rengoku's character development. Thus, it was definitely best to feature this arc as a movie since it's short and can stand on its own as a special feature. What are your thoughts about the Demon Slayer's Mugen Train movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, just don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I post daily anime content about top 10 top 5 listings, anime reviews, recommendations, news, theories, and all sort of anime content on daily basis. So if you enjoyed, please subscribe, and that was it, and I will see you in the next one. Sayonara.